Sine is not a value that is anything to do with the triangle. The triangle is made up of 3 sides, 3 angles. All the measurements on a triangle are either some unit of measurement or a degree. Sine is neither of those things. It is also cos is neither of those things, and tan is neither of those things. They are a ratio. With that ratio, you can discover the sides and the angles. But those things, this fraction is not a side, it is not an angle. Do you understand that? Okay. Well, you're going to get some practice on that today because, like I say, I've been teaching trig for 20 years, and kids have a lot of trouble with that. But before we do that, because I want you to have lots of practice before your quiz tomorrow, we are going to do one thing and one thing only today, and then I'm going to let you practice trig. Okay? Because some of you need it. Please turn in your books. Oh, I lie. I'm the worst kind of liar. Sorry. I gave you a little bit of homework. I gave you, if I'm not mistaken, 59 and 60. And the answers are there. So now, ask me, is there anything from page 59 that you couldn't figure out how you got from this question to those answers? And you need to ask because I cannot read your mind. Martin, go. Number 7 on page 59? On 60. Okay. Anything from page 59, because that's the first page. Anything from page 59. Going once. Going twice. Going thrice. All right. Now that means if I were to put one of these questions on your quiz tomorrow, every single one of you would get it right. Because that's what you're telling me by not asking me questions right now. Now all of a sudden hands go up.
How do you do 6 again?
6. All right. Amrit?
I was just wondering, putting sine, cos, and tan, do you always need a right angle? Or no?
There needs to be a right angle in the triangle for your level of trig, yes. So if there isn't one, you've got to make one. I'll get it, and then I'll help you, Derek. Yep, no problem. Go from iron. He's in R301. Yep. If only the school had some way to differentiate between the rooms in the hall and the rooms in the rotunda. And if only there was a map and a master list of where everybody was at any given moment that anyone could check. Damn, that would be a good idea. All right, number 6. So, determine the measure of each angle. Every calculator is different. Remember, this is not an angle. That is 25 over 100. And since it's sine, where's the 100? It's a show on TV. Where is the 100? Karen? On the hypotenuse. If this is x, where's the 25? Go again. Opposite, which is the right or the bottom? The right. There's the 25. If this is x, where's the 25? The bottom. So now I need to find an angle. If you ever need to find an angle, is it shift or regular? Shift. So this is shift sine 0.25. What if it's a fraction? Then what is it?
Use the fraction like your calculator.
Some calculators actually have a fraction button. It looks like this, A, B, C. And you could go shift, sine, fraction, 6, fraction button, 11. What if you don't have a fraction button? What is the fraction button doing for you? Division. So you would just go shift sign, but then you got to use brackets. 6 divided by 11. And close the brackets. Everybody good from page 59? Now I'm going to try again. Going once. Going twice. Going thrice. All right, now I have recorded proof that all of you are good with everything on page 59, yes? Which means if I gave you a question from 59 on your quiz tomorrow, you are all going to get it right. Excellent. Turning to page 60. Now I know Martin wanted to hear about number 7. Anything else from page 60? Going once. Martin. 10. 7 and 10. Okay. All right. 7. Here is the triangle. We decided in class that is quite readable at 25.23. And I think the class decided that this was 56.5, didn't they? 6? Or 55.6? It doesn't really matter, though, does it? So 55.6. I want to know the distance across the gorge from C to E, which is this side right here. Yes? So do I have a theta? Of course. 55.6. What is that? Makes me stand right there, which makes 25.3 my adjacent. And I need the hypotenuse. There's my x. What uses A and H? Cos. 55.6 equals A, 25.23 over x. Since it's on the bottom, it's 25.23 times cos 55, divided by cos 55.6 to get x. You have to divide. Now, next question, how would you find C to D? Well, now do you know the hypotenuse? Do you know this side? So what could you use to find CD? You could use Pythagoras, or you could use tangent, or you could use sine, because now you know the hypotenuse. Is there a right way to find C to D? No, there's 3 things you could do. Are they all equally right? Yes. Do I care which one you did? No. That's why the question says, how could? Because there's more than one way to do it. The problem for you people is you have been used to being told, this is how you do the math. And you get very little choice. Now you get tons of choice, which is why surface area caused you trouble. Everybody cool? All right. Number 10. So, I need the dimensions. Where do the dimensions of a triangle live? They live here, it's the width, and here is the length, yes? How am I going to find those? Well, I have a theta of 76, yeah? And I have an hypotenuse of 18.9, yeah? My opposite equals L, and my adjacent equals W. Since I have a hypotenuse and I need O and A, I'm going to use sine to find the O and cos to find the A. Sine 76 is opposite over hypotenuse, so L over 18.9. And cos 76 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so W over 18.9. So L equals 18.9 times sine 76, and W equals 18.9 times cos 76. And then I will have my answers, which I will then round off to an appropriate decimal place. Do I care what the appropriate decimal place is? No, I don't. Do math. They used 1 decimal place in the answer. Is everybody cool? All right. Now, please turn to page 64. I know it's 3 or 4 pages away, but trust me, there is a method to my madness. Solve the triangle. If you are in Scooby-Doo's gang and you solve the mystery, what have you done? I know, I've just told you have solved the mystery. What have you done? How does every Scooby-Doo end? You find out who the bad guy was and how they did it, yes? And they explain every part of the trick, right? It's always wind blowing over bottles to make an ooh sound, and there's always a projected ghost that can run around, and it's always the old guy, and they whip the mask off, and they say, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids, yes? They explain it all, correct? And that is solving a mystery. So what do you think solving a triangle is? Explaining what? All of it. In a triangle, what is all of it? Triangles are made up of what? How many sides? 3. And 3 angles. So solving it must be explaining all of it. All the sides, all the angles. Everybody cool? Now, since there are 6 things to write, 6 things to explain, do you think there is more than one way to get those 6 things? Of course there were. If I put 6 candies on the desk and I said, come up and grab a candy, some of you might grab the first candy on your left. Some of you might grab the first candy on your right. Some of you might grab the middle candy. It wouldn't matter. But eventually you would get all the candies, wouldn't you? Who would decide which candies to grab? You do. Right? When your mom says, clean up your room, does she care if you deal with your dirty laundry or all the food plates that you've left in there first? Does she? No, of course not. As long as your room gets what? Clean. Right? And of course, being teenagers, clean for you means visibly clean. So the dishes are under the bookshelf. The dirty laundry is stuffed in the back corner of the closet. The books are there's stacks of them under your books. What am I saying? It's the 21st century. You don't read books. Oh, that was funny. Your bed is made, but it's just smoothed out. There's all the dirty clothes under the blankets. Right? And your mom looks in and says, good job. And you're like, huh. And then when you pull back your blanket that day and your room smells like bum, you're like, ew, this room stinks, Mom. And then your mom comes in and she's like, I told you to clean it. I did, but you didn't. Right? This is about how it goes for most of you, I assume. It's different for you, Marcos? You just never clean your room?
I clean it every once in a while.
You clean your room every once in a while?
I just don't shove everything in a corner.
You actually clean it every once in a while? My son's actually cleaning it every once in a while, is shoving it all into the corner. And then eventually, my wife and I go crazy, and we go into his room. We pull out all the garbage that he shoved into a corner. We put it in the middle of the room. Say, now clean it up. But that's just us. All right, so since I'm asking you to solve the triangle, I want all the angles, all the sides, yes? So what I like to do, and what was the operative word in that sentence? I'll say it again. What I like to do, little bit of a hint there. What's the operative word? I. This is the way I would do it. Do you have to do this in the same order that I do it? No, as long as you do everything to get to the end, yes? So what I like to do is I like to put letters everywhere I have an unknown. So, do I know this side? No. So I'm going to give it a letter. What would be a smart letter to write there? Lil C, because there's big C. Do I know this side? So what would be a smart letter to write there? Lil B. I made a big B. Huh? Do I know this angle? No. Does it already have a letter? What is it? Big C. Excellent. Now, all I have to do is start figuring out the way I am going to solve this. Now, the way I like to solve this always is I like to start with a theta. Do I have a theta? What is it? Theta equals 65. Excellent. And once I have set up theta, that is where I will be living while I do this math. Okay? I've brought my hammock, and I am lying down, minding my business in my hammock at that corner. Right? Excellent. Now, once I have set that up, what does that make 41? Opposite is 41. Do I know anything else? No. So now I need to start solving. The hypotenuse is little b. Right? The adjacent is little a. Little c. Yeah? Okay. And big C is another angle. Oops. Yeah, big C can just be right that. C is degrees. Now I need to make decisions. What could I do right now? I could do sine, and I would use 65 opposite 41 over lil b. Could I do that? Excellent. What else could I do? I could do cos 65 is lil 41, I lie, is, I can't do cos right now. Why? I would need to do sine first. So what can I do right now? I could do tan 65, and that would equal what? 41 over lil c. Is either one of those right or wrong for a first step? No. Who chooses the first step? You choose the first step. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Everybody cool? All right. So you would do one of those two things. The first one would, of course, be 41 over sine 65 would get me b. If I did the second one, it would, of course, be 41 over tan 65 to get lil b. Now, here comes another decision. When I do that, I'm going to fill my calculator screen up, yes? Should I clear my calculator screen off? Yes or no? Well, I'm going to do that right now. Which one should I do? Your people's choice. You can use sine. Great. 41 divided by sine 65. Should I clear that off? Or am I going to need the hypotenuse again? Because most of you don't have a calculator to hold that there, hold a whole bunch of stuff. I would just leave it there. But what would I write right here? 45.2. Ooh, I should have done that blue because I used sine. Now, what can I now do if I have done this first? I'm going to continue working in blue because this is the path we chose to go down. What would your next step be? You could do cosine to find c, couldn't you? Everybody agree? So cos, and I'll keep using blue, cosine of 65 equals adjacent over hypotenuse, right? Which is little c over this answer, yes? So if I write b there, I already have b, don't I? It's this. And isn't it sitting right on my calculator. So from here, since I know what B is, wouldn't it be B times cos 65 to get C? And isn't B sitting right on my calculator? So I would go times cos 65. Everybody cool? I know on my calculator it's 19.11, but I'm going to write 19.1. Yeah? Do I now know all three sides? So all I need is the last angle, yes? Angles in a triangle, how many degrees are there? 180. How many do I have there? 90. So I must share 90 degrees between them, yes? 65 of it's right there. What's left? 25. C equals 25. Does everybody understand? Could I have followed the green path? Could I have done tan? Once I had tan, actually that would have been C, of course. Once I had tan, that would give me C. Now, could I then use that to do the cos for the hypotenuse? Yes. Would it matter? No. What should I make sure I do at the end of it all? I should check and make sure it makes sense, shouldn't I? Is my hypotenuse the longest side? Yes. Does it make sense, since I only went 25 degrees, which is only like this much, does it make sense that this is significantly less than this? Yes. So am I happy with my answer? Now some of you will be looking at that and say, I never would have done it that way. But you would have had to use sine, cos, tan, and Pythagoras, right? In whatever order you see fit. Does everybody understand? All right, now listen to me. I'm going to shut up because trig is super easy if you can do this in your sleep. The only problem people have with trig is you have to turn this fake triangle into these real life triangles. Is there a difference? If this whole drawing of the gorge wasn't there, could you have done the trig? Of course you could, because it just makes a triangle, right? All the word problem is building that triangle, right? So you are going to practice now on the following pages. Everybody turn to page 61. Yes, Haram. Yes. Did I assign 61? No? Good. All you do is do the math. Now please notice, what do you see in all of these triangles? Are they to scale? No, they're not, because the triangle is only there to help you. Number one, sine A. There's A. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What's opposite of A? 5. What's hypotenuse? 13. There it is. So every number 1 gets an R. And you do that with all of them. Does it matter what is written there? For example, if I were doing this one over here, does it matter that the hypotenuse is written as the square root of 58? No, because it's still the hypotenuse. So, opposite over hypotenuse would be 7 over the square root of 58. Everybody good? That's how you do that page. You're going to practice that. You don't even need a calculator. It is just getting opposite adjacent hypotenuse into your head as much as possible. You're not even calculating anything there. Second page. Page 62. This one you are calculating. What do you notice you have in every question? Do you have an angle? Which means you have what? Theta. Do you have a side? which means you are trying to find another side, yes? If you are trying to find a side, is it sine cos tan or shift sine cos tan? Sine cos tan. So this whole page is sine, cos, or tan. No shifts. Right? Then go to the third page. What's different? You don't have any angles. So what is it? Shift sine, shift cos, shift tan. Got it? So how long should this take? Not very, right? Especially that first page. It's just looking at triangles. Everybody good? 10 minutes for the first page? Go. If you finish the first page, move on to the second one. People should be making a pretty good knock into this, yeah? Because all you're doing is looking, right? So, there's 1. What's 2? What's number 2? Cos of A. Pardon? 12/13. There's 2. What's 3? 5/12. Number 4. What is sine of B? There's number 4. What's cos of B? 5/13, which is there. And what's tan of B? 12/5. Now, please notice these are the exact same triangle, yes? But what has changed? Your theta. In this one, your theta was A, and this one, your theta was B. But you're using the same numbers, they're just in different spots. Down here, what's different? I got a root sign. Does it matter? What's the sine of A? 1/2, 7. What's the cos of A? Root 3/2. And what's the tan of A? 1/√3, 9. Shift up to B. What is the sine of B? Root 3/2. There's 10. What is the cos of B? 1/2. There's 11. And what is the tan of B? Root 3/1. So that is 12. Now, if you're able to do that side, are you able to do the whole page? So even if you haven't finished, you know how to do it. Yes? All right, I'm not going to waste the joke. We'll do them all tomorrow. Next page. Puzzle page 2. This is slightly longer, but there's only 11 things to do, right? Now, since this isn't actually work, you can do some of this in your head, can't you? Like this very first one is obviously going to be sine 32 equals x over 4. So if I write that out, that's the only writing I need to do, don't I? Because as soon as you see that, you know it's 4 times sine 32, correct? Now, you're intelligent people, right? Number 1 had a theta, a hypotenuse, and an opposite. And I needed to do 4 times sine 32, correct? Does number 2 look exactly like number 1? Except it's not 4 times sine 32. What's number 2 going to be? 22 sine 57. Correct? Everybody with me? What's this guy going to be? Is the hypotenuse involved? In number 3, not at all. So tan is the only thing it can be, yes? So it must be opposite over adjacent, yes? Right? So adjacent is in the denominator, correct? So this must be 30 tan 20. Everybody cool? 10 minutes enough time to do 7 more questions? A minute a question? I think it probably is. Jacob? Yes? Go. Yeah. 6. 200 sine 18. S. I'm running out of room. 7. 5 tan 43. 8. 70 sine 76. 70 cos 76. That's better. 70 cos 76. Number 9. Opposite over adjacent. 20 tan 48. Number 11 or 10. Sine. What would it be? Sine 2. The hypotenuse is on the bottom, right? So it's going to be 1,000 times sine. What about this one? Cos 55. The hypotenuse is always in the denominator, so since I know it, it's going to be 9 cos 55. Right? Okay. Last page. $10.44. I'll give you till, what do you figure? 10.50? You're getting pretty fast at these. tall is that?
16.
How long is that?
36.
Isn't that a triangle? There's your theta.
Yep.
So, what's that?
I'm not sure. Do we find it?
Well, there's your theta.
Yeah.
So what's that?
Oh, that's your opposite.
And what's that?
They're adjacent.
There you go. No problem. Who could this be?
Before the lunchtime bell, a reminder to grade 9 boys that there is a basketball tryout for the grade 9 team today at 2:30 to 4:30 in the jungle. So that's all grade 9 boys interested in playing basketball this year. There's a tryout today from 2:30 to 4:30 in the jungle. If you have
So-
any questions, please talk to Mr. Chicken. Please wait for the bell before you.
Your job tonight, figure out the puzzles and do the bottom of page 64. But when is that due? Tomorrow after what? The quiz. So if you finish the quiz fast, you could finish this off tomorrow, right? Go! And please, please, please notice. Please, please, please notice how much you can do before you have to do any calculations, right? Almost all the work is done before you even touch your calculator. That's why we practice that way today.